back, everyone, to LCS Challengers Mirage versus Maryville University. And Maryville, man, they're playing like a top team. They're playing like a first-place team, and that still shows in that game number 1 versus Mirage.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that it's not as though they have had the easiest season so far, right? They are still going up against some of the teams that people were expecting to have some success. They've already taken down Supernova 2-1. They already beat Disguise 2-0. And now, as we start looking at the rest of their split, they still have a couple of heavy hitters left to go. But finding this one here up against Mirage would really solidify them as, yet again, able to beat almost everyone in this league. The only question will be what happens when the two Titans collide.
And you know what? Credit over to Maryville for putting on the performance they've been putting, having the double duty at the same time. Because one of the topics we were talking about was managing both collegiate and NACL life. And, you know, for the most part, when I asked Zyko how that feels, he said, it's not too bad. It's not too bad being in the NACL. We're just doing one more scrim than we would usually do. So we haven't had that many issues just yet. And as I can see, they really do come together like a cohesive unit when it comes to the Rift.
Yeah, and it really has been showing off quite well, right? The big thing that I do kind of want to see going to this next game is Mirage Alliance. They had a cool play at level 1 in order to pick off Zyko at the very beginning, but after that, it's been like they didn't really go for a whole lot throughout most of the game, and it really just felt as though they had 5, admittedly, like reasonably strong players, just doing their own thing, right? It did not feel as though we ever saw a game plan emerge from them after that point. And so that's one of the big things I'll be looking for in this game in order to see if they can try and turn things around. Because, Eric, this is their halfway point. If they lose this one, they will be 0-5 in series score. They've only picked up a couple of games, and that means they would have less than half the season to try and turn things around. They would not be able to go 500 if they end up losing another game today.
Yeah, for Maryville University, I mean, I'm looking at their schedule as well because I got kind of curious what they are facing next. I feel that Week 6 match is the most exciting to me once they go against FlyQuest. And yeah, it's definitely quite the schedule to go through. I feel more worry for Mirage given who their final 3 are. Mirage will have to go against TLC, a team that, even though they're still having their troubles, we hold to pretty high regard. They'll go against DSG, and they'll go against FlyQuest as their final opponent in week number 8.
Yeah. I do have to ask, though, Eric, at what point do we stop expecting Disguise and Team Liquid Challengers to win? Because they're 1-3 for Disguise and 1-4 for Team Liquid, and while everybody had them high earlier on, they have not been winning, which is kind of like the one thing that matters. It doesn't matter what tier list people put you in, it matters what results are showing, and Maryville, I think, are the perfect example of that.
Oh, yeah. You know, I've definitely fallen off on DSG, but I still do believe TLC are definitely a worthy opponent.
I want them both to do well, but I want every team to do well. Unfortunately, some of them are going to lose.
But that's neither here or now. What is here and now is the Maryville versus Mirage match. So let's go ahead and pull up the Fearless Draft so we can take a look. Or if we're going into the draft already. Okay, no. All right, now we get a look at this. So the Smolder's not going to be on the table again. So if they want to go for that scaling a second time, they're not going to be able to do it. This gives Maryville a chance to go for that route. And I mean, hey, dude, Scary Jerry's going some wild stuff already. I mean, why not? Give me a Smolder game out of Scary Jerry.
Yeah, it's just a good champion. Unfortunately, I do really like the Yasuo counterpick into it. It was a really cool adaptation coming through from Maryville, and clearly something they had put some thought into. It's not something that you just like, you know, I feel like Yasuo might be good here. It's very obviously something that they had tried to cook up during the scrim blocks. And now as we go into this next one, we are seeing, again, a lot of very aggressive AD carries being taken off the table in the Lucian and Kalista. But, you know, I mean, what do you feel about Senna on teams that are not wildcard?
If we're talking Mirage, I still like it.
Yeah.
I still like it when you can take at least the history of a player and their skill sets and different roles and try and apply them into the bottom lane. So that's why it gets exciting for me.
That's fair. And now as we see another marksman banned away, I would normally kind of expect some kind of salty run back from this position, but that's what the Fearless Draft does entail. It means that we cannot do that. And so I'm looking at all of these players, and so that is a Smolder ban for everybody who is curious. We do kind of expect that when you have a team like this, everybody wants counterpick, right?
Yeah.
Who do you kind of, with that in mind, kind of throw under the bus as like, nope, you have to be the one to first pick? It's like, I really wanted to counterpick my lane because RJS wants counterpick. He cares a lot about it. Dardock is a player who wants counterpick. He cares a lot about it.
I'm throwing Alorum under the bus. If we're doing this figuratively, like, I could throw Alorum under the bus.
In game.
Because it doesn't show exactly what's going to be played, because you could still pick something like we did in last draft where you grab a jungler that's going to be flexed later towards the top lane. So grabbing Alorum's pick early is a little bit more deceptive than it would be for other teams.
That's fair. I mean, it is the kind of thing where Alarm has his champion pool and he will play his champions, but this is something where you don't really expect it to go anywhere else other than the top lane at this point. It's not a particularly strong jungler, although I'm sure Will could pilot it. It's not going to be the kind of thing where it's like, aha, and now we have Alarm's Malphite. It's like, okay, cool. Well, that's totally fine.
Now, completely different road coming out from Maryville University. They went for the hyper aggression with the Draven in the last game. Now we're just going to temper that to the hyper scaling as Aphelios and Emilio gets locked in.
I mean, it's still pretty aggressive coming through. I mean, you get a lot of range off of the campfire and the green gun that you do have early on in lane. There's not a lot of 80 carries that can really deal with that kind of long-range pressure, but we do see this Ziggs coming through. This was an answer a little bit to Aphelios last year, but we have not seen quite as much of it coming through. It is also possible RJS has been known to play this champion on occasion, but it does mean that it looks like Mirage Alliance are saying, hey, we are going to try and play a mid-jungle duo and really focus on making sure that they are successful, because we have a top lane that will be, like, hopefully fine. We have a bottom lane that'll try and be fine, and now we have picked the Jace, so we know that this is going to be the focus coming through from Mirage Alliance.
And by the way, I do resent that a little bit, Josh. We're comparing the Aphelios to a Draven. There's a level of aggression that Draven players just... They just live, man. They just live. It's a
different kind of aggression, right? Like, the Aphelios is more my kind, where it's like, I'm going to poke you until you have no options left, and then you will kill yourself in-game because you got bored.
Draven is like braided chest hair aggression.
Yeah, I don't have enough of that to braid, unfortunately. But I can name each one of them after the members of production as well if we need to. So, as we look into this next one, as we go into the second half of the draft, the Azir is not the easiest thing in the world to play into the Jace, but if Jace ever messes up and takes a little bit too much damage in one of these trades, suddenly Azir will have kill pressure, especially post 6, because the Jace does not have great tools. A Thundering Blow is very difficult to get off. You would need to buffer it before Azir goes in if you want to try and save yourself.
And the next set of bans now coming in as we head towards the second phase of the draft. It's going to be jungle targeted out of Maryville University. They're going to go after Will. So they're taking out some of those more aggressive champions that Will can just take the early levels and try and find those early ganks with. Taking out the early plan, I really do like it as a game plan against Mirage. Next ban to come out is going to be that Nautilus. So not going to allow Dardock to have that. Would set up some pretty good picks if they could secure that, especially considering that you have the Milio. Hook champions work really well into the Milio. Final ban is the Poppy.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, there's not a ton of mobility coming out from the side of Mirage Alliance just yet that the Poppy would stop, but it is very difficult for the To The Skies from Jace to really have an effect if you do have to go into that Poppy. But I really already feel as though the game plan coming out for the side of Maryville is just better in a lot of ways. You have a lot of range, you have consistent damage to take down the Udyr, you now have the Gnar, which has been an okay counter pick to the Udyr in the past. I think the first time I saw it picked in this regard was by Fake God, but I didn't ever really think of Fake God as a particularly strong Gnar player, whereas it has been one of Niall's favorite champions over the course of his career.
Okay, so we are getting a Hook champion locked in. Dardock's still going to opt into the Blitzcrank, so that will put pressure onto the Milio, especially considering that you're playing the Ziggs. You want to shove forward. You want to keep the wave moving. One more pick now to come out of Mirage, try and wrap this up. Try and get a good jungler to make this whole package actually work on the Rift. And what do we really have left for Will here?
I'm trying to think of a character that solves this, and not coming to mind. Yeah, just be better. That's it.
Just be better.
Just be better. I mean, ultimately, that is what we are seeing from Mirage Alliance. We have seen them pick up a couple of very important wins. throughout their games, but they still have yet to find a series win. But finding the individual wins is nice. And so this is kind of like Will saying, well, what if I'm just the best player on the Rift? Then it doesn't really matter what character I'm playing if I can just beat everybody up. And it is going to be Yuji going over towards the grave so you can actually win some of these duels. You stack up the true grit and make sure you have that bonus armor. And so I don't see a lot of easy options here for Mirage Alliance. It really is going to be either Will just popping off and killing everybody in game, or Dardoch popping off, landing every hook, also in game.
Yeah, Will's going to have to do a lot of hands check. Spread that toe jam on the face toast of Maryville University over there. Yeah, I see you looking at that. Don't.
Toe jam?
Yeah, a toe jam. No toe jam? No? No? Okay, whatever. We'll go
I'm going to be quiet and let you deal with that on your own.
Deal with it together after the broadcast. Now,
do, boy. Okay. Getting this one, though, it is a very tough spot. The top lane is not winning. The bottom lane is only winning if Dardoch is landing hooks, and so I need to see a new game plan coming out from Will. They had a cool one at level 1 to start the game, but then anything that they were trying to do got immediately thrown out the window as soon as he saw Niles actually get some really strong damage down onto Will, force the ghost, and slow down his early path.
Let's talk about toe jam. No, I'm just messing with you. As we head into this one, I do think there is one thing that goes well for Mirage, and that's going to be some of the poke that they're bringing. That is another thing they can try and utilize to set up potentially blitz hooks or just some of Will's more aggressive plays on the Lee Sin.
That is actually one of the things that I was going to address. Is that is a small issue that Maryville does have, is they don't have very many go buttons. And the ones they have are usually not primary engage. Nara can jump in if he finds a good angle. And Spyrex can do the same thing on the Azir. But the only real, like, quote-unquote primary engage that either side has is Dardoch's hook, which is not consistent at best.
Maryville,
also,
go ahead.
I want to say, I hear typing coming through from the players. One of my favorite quotes I've ever heard about Dardoch is he will never start the trash talk. But as soon as the other team says something in all chat for the first time, the gloves come off. And Maryville are typers. So we know that there's a lot of fun things being said in all chat, and I really wish we had access to it.
I remember being at Seawall, and I don't know if we're doing like top 16 or something, but Dardoch was definitely in there. And we made a comment about how Dardoch trash talks. He got kind of offended by it. He was like, I don't trash talk that much. What do you mean?
Oh!
Sorry, man. You're Dardoch. And already Ghost going to be burnt out of Alorum as he saw an angle onto Niles. It will get the flash out.
Yeah. Okay, come on.
No. No. Okay, Niles. Be careful now. It's getting a little ridiculous.
I understand. I understand why people like playing this matchup, but now that Alorum has the bonus movement speed, oh, God, he's dead.
Oh, no. No, not like this. You can't make it this easy. Are you kidding me? Alorum gets first blood solo kill against Niles.
I'd be straight up like, what the heck was that? Like, you're never supposed to die like that. Alorum just runs at him. I don't think this is a good counter matchup with the Gnar at all. Niles not having his best series so far, but now we are going to be getting Will in the bottom lane. The Ghost instantly pops from Scary Jerry to make sure they stay alive. But, I mean, that is a big lead on the top side already coming out from Mirage Alliance.
Wait, here comes Yuzi. Jungler's about to meet.
Oh.
Will it be ships in the night? No. Wants to push towards Will is Yuji. Also has Zyko over there. Scary Jerry gonna shove the wave. Junglers won't fight.
Yeah, I like that from Yuji, using the dash to get into the brush, so even if Will is going that direction, unless he's also in the brush, he should not see the Graves in the interim. And so, Maryville, they are in a position still where, even though Niles did die relatively quickly, their other lanes are doing so well that it kind of doesn't matter. You see that Spyrex has a health lead here over RJS, which is a bit of a disaster in this mid lane for the Jace. The Jace really relies on having some good trades and executing the first couple of levels well in order to have kill pressure on Spyrex. But RJS, there was a lot of questions about him going into the season, like how good is he going to be? What is he actually doing as a player instead of a streamer? And Spyrex, the only question that we had about him is like, why is this guy not playing LCS?
Yeah, the dude has an incredible history. I mean, he spent so much time on FlyQuest, both in their Academy squad, Challenger squad. I believe he spent a little bit of time also on the main roster. So, I mean, Spyrax is very capable. He's always looked good season to season in NACL. And, of course, feeling very comfortable back with Maryville University. For those who don't know, he was part of this roster back in 2020, so this is a return to Maryville for Spyrax.
Yeah. I remember hearing that people were like, yeah, Spyrax is playing top now, and I'm like, why? Okay, Yuji?
All right, Yuji's going to go in, and this should be easy enough. Flash is going to be burnt away. It's matched by Yuji, so RJS will stay alive.
Yeah, good escape from RJS, but Will coming down once again is spotted.
Here we go, flash forward coming out from Dardoch. They want to grab Scary Jerry, who hides in the middle of the minion wave to try and get one back, but you're not getting anything. It should be empty-handed. Got close there. Dardoch takes the kill.
I mean, Dardoch picking up the kill there at the very end is a little bit unfortunate, but a good attempt coming through from Scary Jerry to turn that fight around. But still, Mirage Alliance, even with that kill, they're only up a couple of 100 gold. Getting the solo kill up the top side has not gotten them much of a lead. Prismo will be able to back and come back to a fantastic wave state. But now that RGS has no flash, guess who has the biggest target on their back painted in the entire game? It is going to be this Jace, who now is suddenly very vulnerable to any plays once Spyrax hits level 6.
If we can somehow get a spicy release of what's going on in the chat at the moment, just the idea of Scary Jerry versus Dardoch, I want to see that trash talk, Josh.
Oh yeah, I mean Niles too. Like they love saying things, but now we're finally in a position up on the top side of the map where Niles, he has, you know, a couple of points in the W. He has the hyper, so whenever Alarm runs at him and Niles is mini, he should be able to get away, but so far he's just taking a lot of damage by running in melee.
X-Flash from Dardoch, he's trying to find an angle in the mid lane against Spyrax. Spyrax is kind of weaving around that side of the map. Spyrax goes in, Emperor's Divide gonna find RJS. Spyrax will grab that kill, and Will and Dardoch showing up too late to the party.
Yeah, kind of weird. Jace having no flash and Spyrax instantly scooping him upon hitting level 6. Very tough position to play at, but Scary Jerry also looking for a play.
Yeah, gets the root on Prismal, but Prismal a good time with that satchel. Does mean that Scary Jerry can't get more autos in, trying to take advantage of the fact that Dardoch was not there.
Yeah. Well, we are seeing, one of the big things that we were asking for is that Will needs to be the best player on the Rift, and he's gotten an assist, right? He's participated in that kill on the bottom side of the map, but Yuji has participated in just as many kills, and also being Graves is out farming the Lee Sin. We really need to see Will going for some big plays in the next couple of minutes in order to try and bring this game back, because even though the gold is currently even, based on both these teams' history, we should be expecting Maryville to, one, be a big favorite, and also to win this game relatively handily as soon as they find their first edge.
I mean, Lee Sin has a lot of power when it comes to the early game. Being able to jump in with the Sonic Wave, you get the execution, Raging Strikes. All of it's great for the champion, but you gotta actually put this kit to the use because it does fall off as we get later and later into the game. And Yuji right now taking the Scuttle Crab over towards the river. RJS not really gonna spot it out. This gives Yuji potential angle to go after this dragon, but there is a control ward there.
Yeah, and Yuji also spotted. You see so many pings, everybody watching the minimap. Yuji trying to pick up the red buff in exchange for the Grubbies going over to Mirage Alliance, or at least one, Will announcing his presence on the map and then instantly moving away, but Yuji also has to get out of dodge.
Pretty standard move right there from Will. Just grabbing the Void Grubs, denying one, to make sure that the other team doesn't get the 5 or 6. Now Yuji, in the face of Dardoch, here comes another scoop from Spyrax going after Will, but it's Yuji who's in trouble. Now Scary Jerry comes in, able to get the ultimate onto Dardoch. And now here comes the chase from Maryville University. Even though you claimed one, it cost you RJS, it cost you Dardoch. Maryville will trade up.
Yeah, that's a really good play coming in from Maryville, being a little bit faster to bring everybody to the play. And Scary Jerry picking up one, Spyrax picking up the other. It does mean the gold is going in the right places. And Niles at the same time doing a-okay up on the top side ever since that first solo kill. He's been able to farm it out, and as soon as he gets a real back off in order to get some movement speed, he should be in a much better position once again to try and kite out this Udyr. But it is still a very small lead for Maryville. This is not necessarily our first in to start taking over the game. We're still looking for an opportunity, and it'll probably come around this next dragon.
I don't know. It's getting towards that stage, though. Spyrax, his most played in previous seasons, has been the Azir. He's very comfortable on this champion and can absolutely take over a game, and that's what he's been doing to RJS. Just dominating this lane thus far, has a strong CS lead, 2 kills to boot.
And the Jace very far behind the curve. Like, Jace is a fantastic scaling champion, but, you know, he has not had a whole lot of time to do any scaling. He does get spotted on the bottom side of the map, and that just means that Spyrax can push waves in with impunity, and Scary Jerry and Zyke are like, well, we can give up a couple minions in order to make sure we don't die here, or maybe we even bring down Yuji in a second to try and go for a counterplay.
This is a lot of time wasted for RGS. And when you're on poke champions like this, not having a good source of economy and not really collecting CS, it really does hurt. Because you want that shock blast to be impactful before these team fights do start up. But it's Spyrax who's going to be farming up and collecting plates.
Yeah. And as we cross the 10-minute mark, let's take a look at where the gold is. Spyrax is richest member on the map by a decent margin, about 500 gold between him and Will. There is also Dragon Me started up here by Maryville, and they have more people here faster. Will's on the other side of the map, looking to do either Crud, or the Crab, or, yeah, they now being on the Grubs. They'll get something back in the very least.
Attempt with the Mega Inferno Bomb from Prismal to steal away. Doesn't find anything. Dragon goes over to Maryville. The response for Mirage is the Void Grubs you had mentioned earlier. Niles over the wall. Just trying to pester a little bit. Does put out that ward to spot out when these Grubs are going to be finished and where Will will be done.
Yeah. I mean, they just need to know that Will for sure is there in the lore. See how many members are committed to this, and this means that Maryville should feel free to go for this dive.
And that was the play right there. They saw Will, and that was the actuator. That was the moment they realized, okay, we have an angle in this bottom lane. Problem is, they don't have a wave at the moment. Still waiting to shove that in as Yuji and Spyrax begin to lay prey.
RGS has teleport. Will is almost here as well. This could be a disaster if it goes poorly for Maryville.
There goes. You got to move fast. Spyrax hanging on one side. Oh, so much damage sweeping down Mirage. And even with the teleport coming through, RJS, you are too damn late, my dude.
Okay, time to rinse and repeat. They got to make a play soon.
Oh, here comes Will. He's looking for it. Able to get the shutdown on Scary Jerry. He slides out with the safeguard. RJS tries to escape as well. Gets away from the grasp of the Emperor. Now Spyrax circling the turret. Sonic Wave misses, but Spyrax does not.
Wow. I mean, great play from Will to at least get something out of that, but it is a very rough position across the board as we are seeing Maryville's lead starting to grow. Very good standard dive, very good standard play. And in the mid lane, Prismal teleported immediately mid in order to try and get some damage on the structure. He will get at least one plate for himself before being matched by Scary Jerry.
Oh no, Zyko. Ooh! Nice dodge from Zyko. Even Dardoch's going to give respect for that thumbs up.
Yeah, still, same time. It is the end that Maryville has needed. We have another Dragon's 20 in 3 minutes. Zyko.
This is not ending.
All right, Dardoch.
Zyko gets away from it again. You're kidding me. Oh, that's got to be infuriating, man, for Dardoch. That definitely does bite.
Oh,
tries slipping for the kills, not going to find it. Now here comes Niles in the top lane, forced to flash away once more from Alorum Zudir.
Here comes Will at the same time. Niles has to be very careful. No flash in Midi-Gnar for the foreseeable future.
Just be better. Here it comes in the top lane, looking for the dive. Alorum gets out of turret range, and Will clean up Niles.
So far, Will is kind of being better than a lot of players on this Rift. We'll see if they can actually close that one out, if they can continue to find some of these plays, because the rest of the map seems to be kind of crumbling around them. Alorum is the only point of real power they have on this map, and he's going to get shredded. You have triple effective DPS threats in the Graves, the Azir, and the Aphelios, and the Gnar is going to be contributing to that quite effectively as well. Maryville in the past has been one of the best teams at playing these concave positions where you focus down one person, you create arcs of fire, and get so much extra damage on a single target. But now, Mirage Alliance, they're going to be picking up this mid lane turret. It is Prismal's turn to get a couple of extra plates. It's going to be matched by Spyrax.
It's pretty nice right there for Mirage. That gives them first tower. Utilizing the Ziggs, which is that satchel, gets the execution onto the towers. Spyrex still going to be able to match that. Might need an extra minion wave to actually clear out this tower. Let's see. No, he's just going to stand around, tank it himself, and claim that tower. That is solo brick gold going over to Spyrax, which is the difference of what happened with Mirage. In fact, let's take a look at the gold right now, and you can see, yeah, Spyrax 7K, definitely pretty wealthy in this match.
Yeah, Will is doing very well for his team, but Maryville, they're bringing a lot of members down here to the bottom side of the map, and it looks like it will be traded out for a Rift Herald up top side. But there is still another drag. There's the first one already picked up for Maryville. They can play for a second one, and they know that they can be very aggressive with some of their plays because you have a lot of members that are very susceptible to Emperor's Divide.
Will claims the Rift Herald. Shouldn't be a contention over here. Waiting for Dragon. That's going to spawn in 40 seconds. Niles now chasing down onto RJS. RJS has a lot of damage he can bring back and has Will in his back pocket, but they don't know what's coming around the corner. Zyko and Yuji have come to play. They'll chase Will away from the Rift Herald. Now Yuji wants to claim it.
He might not be able to either. The eye? Yeah.
Oh no.
Nice.
Secured by Will. Contest coming out of Maryville, but will be able to grab that. There's no more tower plates, so it's all about taking towers for Mirage.
Also, all about this dragon spawning in a couple of seconds. This is something that Mirage Alliance are a little bit out of position for. Niles will be able to teleport down and should have a Trinity Force, I imagine, by the time they actually complete this recall. But Maryville have a lot of very strong tools. Niles is teleporting into the mid lane, and Spyrax is going to be creating some space up against Alora.
Watch out for Spyrax. He is the wealthiest person on this map. That Emperor's Divide could wreck Mirage, pulling him back in. Ooh, trying to fight Maryville before Spyrax gets into position. You're able to claim Yuji, but what else is there available? Lorem goes on to Spyrax, but Spyrax standing okay. Dardoch falls, and it's two picked up by Maryville. Will goes in. Just be better. He can't. Niles will find the kill on the Lorem. It's a shutdown found by Scary Jerry.
Too much gold on the other side of the map. They will get themselves this dragon unless Prince can steal it. But at the same time, RGS on the far side of the map. There was a 4v5 coming through from Mirage Alliance, but they will get this top side turret as well. Jace will crush down this turret, and he is scaling his way well into this game. With all these extra money coming through, it will mean that Mirage Alliance still able to potentially turn things around if this game does go late.
Niles going for the chase right here, has Meganar coming up, so RJS, he's got to use that flash to get away, but he's using it not to create distance through the wall, and Niles does not care. He will throw a house at him, and congratulations, RJS, welcome to the gray screen.
Still a positive gold play coming out for RJS personally, but overall, the map is now belonging to Maryville. They can move around where they want. The big thing that they need to accomplish before this game gets too late is they need to take down this mid lane structure so that they can actually start playing around even more of these jungle camps, so they can start taking away money from Will. And unfortunately for Maryville, there's a lot of wave clear that they're going to have to do in order to take that one down. It might not even happen until after the Baron buff has been taken for Maryville.
Maryville University, 17 minutes into this game so far, controlling it, 1.2k in the lead. They have 2 dragons. 4 minutes before the next dragon does come up and will be readily available. But as it is right now, Maryville, this map has been belonging to them. They've been playing a lot with deep vision as well and just rotating around the map. That's one of the things you always have to love about Maryville. They do play like a complete package.
And as they start moving around Maryville, they have to recognize that there is a big Rift Herald coming down here. They do have both Dardoch and Will participating in this, but at the same time, like, Spyrax will be able to take this top lane turret down by himself. More solo gold going over there, and a lot of camps going to be missing out for Will. Now Yuji trying to find his way over this one, and they will get a lot of damage.
Spyrax is going to be a problem later. It's going to be a very big problem.
Now.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, he spent so much time solo, taking bricks, taking minions. Niles, not in the best place to be. He has to dodge this sonic wave, but Will is not even going to throw it. Instead, waits for the Dragon's Rage to set it up. That's a kill picked up, but again, Spyrax is collecting over in the top side.
Still more money going over towards the side of Maryville as they get 2 effective kills taking down the structure, and the mid lane finally dies.
Ooh, Prismal flashes instantly. Doesn't want to get caught by that Emperor's Divide. The Shurima Shuffle. Devastate him. It's another tower going over. And now we have to look at the gold. How much has this man banked? 9.2k. Will has the most econ on Mirage. That is not a good sign.
I mean, he's got a lot of kills. This is basically the only time that ever will happen. But what about the levels? That's the other thing that we really need to look at, as not really a big surprise. The solo laners have a lot of experience, but the fact that RJS is so far down this totem pole does present some problems, because Jace is a character that relies a lot on his levels in order to get the maximum damage off on his Shock Blast.
Still just concerning for me, because right now, Will is still going to be very strong. This is a good time for him in the game. He can still make a lot of plays on this Lee Sin, but the later we go, it gets harder to find those angles on Lee Sin and be as destructive as you want to be. And now we're kind of seeing that right now as Will, face checks into a situation, still will get the better of it, but doesn't have much health left to really fight. Niles pops the ultimate, only lands onto Alorum. Prismal's looking to get away. Dardoch taking the route around the Dragon Pit. Now looking to escape this one. Will get hit by the socket kick, but nothing else going to be found by Maryville University, and Mirage realize this is their opportunity, this is their window. The chase going on to Niles, has the Sonic Wave, does not follow through with the resonating strike, and Mirage lay claim to the map.
A little bit disrespectful coming out from Maryville. Yuji just dashing right on in directly into the face of an Udyr is the perfect place for the Udyr to actually play a lot of these engagements. And so Maryville will have to take another attempt in just a moment, but giving over a lot of gold, including the bottom lane turret, towards your opponents does mean that Mirage Alliance can try and turn things around. This is a much more coordinated Mirage than we've seen previously, and it helps that they actually had lanes that were doing okay. But the big problem, Spyrax is super strong, and RJS still has not finished stacking up the Muramana.
Spyrax is so ahead. And this is with an Aphelios. So when I look at the late game, you're going to have situations with the Graves on top of it. Like, Maryville can really play around with the way they want to approach certain things. If they want to do Baron calls, they actually take Baron really fast with this composition. So this is going to leave Mirage, hook and a miss, in a situation where every single move they make on the map is going to matter so much, because Maryville can punish.
Every single move, we'll be watching them as Niles, he's got Mega right now, but that means that the window for Maryville to do this is not that large. The bomb goes out.
It's only Zyko who's falling to about half health. Not the most valuable of targets. Alorum tries to set up. Seeing that wall next to Dardoch. Rocket grab not going to land. Zyko is still critically low, but Yuji secures the dragon. Mirage not able to find much else. They'll siege up in the mid lane.
And I mean, at least they have access to this wave to go towards the mid lane. They will get a lot of damage down onto the structure, and with the Ziggs and the Jace there, both these characters so effective at taking down these structures, they will punish Maryville for choosing to play from the bottom side of the dragon. We are starting to see the poke coming through from Mirage Alliance really starting to stack up, whereas on the other side, Maryville is really struggling, not really having great tools to get into the fight, and the poke is starting to become more and more impactful.
Alorum's choosing to fight this. He has RJS who's coming for the pinch. Dardoch on the opposite end. RJS steps up, but look at Maryville. This is what we're talking about. If you misstep on the map, Maryville will go straight for the Baron.
Yeah, the flash, no way, he lives.
Oh god, he's still creating distance. He's still creating distance. Almost got away from the Shock Blast, but now here's the Baron. Scoop coming out from Spyrax. Baron secured over to Maryville University. Alorum's going after Spyrax. Wants to claim the kill on him, but Yuji's going to help out his mid laner. Bring the damage, bring the Spain, bring the buckshot. Keep Spyrax alive. Will is the next one to fall. Yuji just keeps bringing it, and Spyrax slides on out. He will not be stopped. Will is hunting down your team. God damn it. You got to retreat. Yuji bringing more and more and more. Gets knocked right up, and empty-handed will be Mirage. Maryville University raw with the pain.
Oh my god, Yuji and Spyrax are so good, you guys. The fact that they were able to take that fight and come out, well, they were so low for multiple moments of that. It's just a testament to how strong these players really are, how well they understand all their characters. And I love the play from Spyrax here, actually, to go in and push Will away to make sure that there's no opportunity for him to try and go for a steal. And then with Alorum right on top of him, he and Yuji just moving together to try and take this guy down. You would think that Alorum would have the damage to do this, but he just barely doesn't. And turning things immediately onto Will afterwards just leaves Yuji in the perfect position to continue chasing down members of Mirage Alliance.
Look at this, Dardoch.
Upstep.
Try to use the Blast Plant to get close enough to pop the ultimate to take down Will.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Spyrax.
The Ignite wasn't enough between the heals and shields coming out from Zyko, and now Alorum's got to be careful.
Alorum able to step away from the tower. Now Maryville University setting up for the siege. They're going to lead a wave in the bot lane and mid lane. Yuji is the one splitting out for the time being. Scary Jerry into the jungle will grab himself a red buff. Will and Dardoch waiting in the wings for the setup. And now Maryville begin the siege.
This is a very tough siege for Mirage Alliance to break, because even though there's not a lot of go buttons coming out from Maryville.
Oh. Will onto Yuji. Sonic Wave resonating strike follows through. Will returns fire. Yuji returns fire. Why do I keep saying Will? Everyone is Will today, man.
Everyone is Will today. But it's still going to be a lot of pressure coming through for Maryville as Yuji has the red buff. Will heal up off of that. There's enough range characters. Enough range characters to actually take down all these structures. Yuji will finally reward himself with the gold from the mid lane turret. But Mirage Alliance, they need to pick something relatively soon. This is where having a strong shot caller would help out quite a bit, saying, hey, this is the plan. We're going to try and make this play happen.
Yuji has finished his time over in the mid lane. Will alternate to the top side. There's no one that close to really respond to this. So either Mirage go for a fight or they try and defend, and they're going to pill off RJS to defend that top tower.
Yuji in the 1v1 with RJS, but the turret in the bot lane is going to fall.
Bot lane turret goes down. Inhibitor now going to be exposed. Yuji almost takes down Will. It's a shutdown found for Will. That gold would have been nice in other places, but it's all Mirage can go ahead and take for the time.
No useful teleports out for Mirage Alliance to try and punish this from Maryville either. So you will get the one kill on the far side of the map, but the brush. Okay, but now you have the dragon. 30 seconds. Yuji will be a little bit late as they find Dardoch.
Dardoch flashes over the wall, but Spyrax has the blast plant. Soldiers follow suit, and unstoppable is Spyrax.
That one auto attack did like 400 damage to that Blitzcrank. Like that was crazy. But now Maryville.
So 5-0-5 is here, man.
I know, but it was. You think Blitzcrank should be able to survive those kind of things?
Oh, it is a bird of prey. Dardoch is the prey.
Pigeons are prey. Either way, we are going over to the next dragon. It is a Mountain Soul getting picked up for Maryville once again, and we are well on our way towards Maryville tying up FlyQuest Challengers at the very top of the standings in not just series score, but also in game score.
Dragon taking that. It is Soul. 5.6k is the lead for Maryville University. They will take their reset on the map right now. It's a minute 30 before Baron comes up. So if they want to play this, if they want to do business the right way, they can wait out the purple worm and go ahead and take that for the final siege. They will have super minions in the bottom lane, which is going to make it hard for Mirage to spawn by the time this Baron does come up. So getting a good push on this bottom wave will help out.
Spyrax, he seems to know.
Something's up here. Spyrax has not died just yet, but Mirage want to change that. He hasn't walked over any vision. And Mirage are kind of realizing, yeah, we're cornered.
Yeah.
Let's just bail.
Well, at least they didn't die. I was waiting for the solid snake noises to go off. We are alerted. They have found our presence. But either way, Maryville, as they move up, they have both buffs, the extra HP, the extra mana. They are effectively infinite mana, whereas the members of Mirage Alliance will not be able to siege nearly as effectively.
Maybe a last desperate attempt out of Mirage as they try and work their way around these walls, looking for a Blitzcrank hook. Yuji still doing the split push siege. Here we go again. Will going for the play. Able to get the safeguard. Dragon's Rage finds its way onto Will, but Will's not looking too good. He will go down to Yuji, and Niles continues to chase. RJS goes in, drops the hammer onto Niles, but Niles is A-OK. Shock Blast comes through, and down a jungler is going to be Mirage.
I like the play from Will. You got to try and make that kind of thing happen, but now this is going to be the last opportunity for Mirage Alliance to try and hold their base. They don't have the blue ones. They don't have the mana. Everybody needs to back away and get to full HP in order to try and take this, but they're already down all 3 inhibitors.
Double supers in every lane, Joshi. This is going to be hell for Mirage to have to get through. Luckily for them, they do have some decent wave clear, but Maryville are not going to allow you any time to breathe. They're headed straight for the purple worm.
They're pinging towards the wards that they were using to try and keep themselves safe before. It is going to be Udyr. Allure, I'm going to try and find something, but the blast cone is the only real way for him to get in. There's a ward in this brush.
Yeah, he's walking right over that control ward, so Yuji instantly begins to push onto Alorum. 9k health remains. Again, you have 3 auto attackers that can take down this Baron in no time, but Maryville, they're kind of sniffing around for the fight. RJS is a little bit low now. He did lose about a third of his health before this even began. Now Niles fighting it out with the Alorum. Will go into that Meganar form. Over the wall comes Will. Sonic Wave looks for the resonating strike. Instead kicks Niles away. And now the rest of Maryville on this Baron, still 8k health remains. They haven't really pushed too hard onto it because they're allowing the super minions to slowly tear away at the base of Mirage.
And this is a checkmate here for Mirage Alliance. They need a desperate steal, but there's no opportunity to do so. Will throw his life away if he tries to go in. And he's still dead anyway.
There's no choice. There's no chance. Maryville University, this is the most dominant form that we've ever seen from this squad. Keep in mind, they were on the border of relegation last summer, and here they are challenging teams like FlyQuest for the first place spot. This team is absolutely bonkers, and they're going to take a 2-0 victory in a dominating fashion against Mirage.
We have a tale here of opposite sides. Yet again, Mirage Alliance still looking to pick up their first series win of the split, whereas Maryville have yet to lose one. It is a dominant performance yet again coming out from Maryville this time around, and we know this team is going to be very good. We have high hopes for how they are going to perform come the postseason, because now I believe they're virtually guaranteed an opportunity to continue playing in the second half or in the playoffs in the bracket stage, whereas Mirage Alliance, they are now 0-5. They need to start finding wins if they want to try and find a way to even make it to the postseason.
Man, it feels so good to see a collegiate squad do this well in the NACL, put up this level of performance to the point where they are tied for first place. This has been a complete flip of performance from split to split from Maryville University, and you have to appreciate the work that they are putting in. We're going to throw it over to a short break. When we return, we'll have Niles on the other side from Maryville University, so stay tuned.
Introducing the new Footlong Sidekicks at Subway. Try the warm and delicious Footlong Cookie, Footlong Pretzel, or Footlong Churro.
Welcome back, everyone, to LCS Challengers. We are joined by Niles, Maryville University. One of the most surprising flips we've seen from split to split, excuse me, because you guys have just bumped up in quality of play. I want you to talk me through that. What is responsible for this new form, this new dominant form of Maryville University?
I mean, my mid jungle are just like so good. They're like Kobe and LeBron on the field. Like actually, just like insane players. Like so easy to play with them. Honestly, I can't give them enough praise. Bot lane gets it done every game as well. They know how to dominate laning phase, you know. And I just sit up top, try not to solo lose the game. And I think it's pretty easy, honestly. Except for when I'm first timing Nara versus Udyr. I don't know. That was pretty ugly. That laning phase, but
I've seen a little bit better. I've seen better from you in the past, but I do have to talk a little bit about the fact that there were not particularly high expectations of the Maryville team coming into this split, but you guys are currently tied for first, and a lot of the community is starting to get very excited about you going up against FlyQuest Challengers, the other team who is in the top spot. What do you have to say about the previous expectations, and where do you guys think you could go from here?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're like 250-2 in scrims or something. You know, I was heard FlyQuest talking about their scrim record, but they got nothing on us. Also, top lane, Surdy, I relegated that guy last time I played a series versus him. Bot lane, Sajed always gets ran by Scary Jerry and Zyko. What is Sajed was on Lit Esports. He's never won a game versus Scary Jerry. Okay, Quad, that guy, I got respect for that guy. Okay, he played in LCK. Did you see Spyrex's Azir? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Are we watching the same? Are we watching
That was
the same
pretty
game
good.
now?
That was pretty good.
Are we having this conversation after that series that FlyQuest just had versus Wildcard on who is actually the top dog? Like, let's get serious, guys. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be a slaughter when we meet them in the last week. That's all I got to say. Like, be watching for that matchup, but they're going to get slaughtered. It's just facts.
I love the level of confidence, man. I want to hear a little bit more about the inner workings of Maryville, because you're listed as a coach. I talked with Zyko about it. He said there are some other presences like Crazy Monkey and Fump M who are working behind the scenes. How does Maryville work when it comes to a coaching aspect?
Yeah, so the great thing about Maryville is obviously we are a school, so we have a lot of outside help, whether it's just like we have structure in the organization. CKG, for those who know the Maryville lore, Cat God, he's the assistant director here. He helps out. Bryce, Pump M, or Jake, Crazy Monkey. You know, they're also helping out scouting, helping us make sure that we're prepped for match day. We know the tendencies of the enemy team, just helping with that aspect of the game. When it comes to like review and that sort of thing, I think we're all great players. So we usually know when games went wrong together, and we're able to reach conclusions on like very easily admitting our mistakes. Like if Jerry's entering, he'll be the first to say like, guys, this dragon fight, like nothing else like really to review. I ran it down, you know? And we're like, all right, well, that makes it real easy, right? You don't have to spend a ton of time reviewing that when Jerry's just like able to admit his mistakes. Or same with Ryan or Yuji or me, you know? Yeah, you own it. And that makes it very easy to resolve conflict in the team, which I think is where an authority figure is sometimes needed, is when conflict can't be resolved within the team. But I think we have a really good mesh of personalities right now, and we're all just trying to improve and be hungry. We realize that we're in 2-2 for a reason. We're not in LCS, so drop the ego. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to Worlds, you're not playing in the Worlds, right? You know, it's like, there's no reason to have ego, especially like in a scrim environment, a practice environment. It's about improving, and I think we're all on the same page with that. So we have a very unique situation, but I think we're making it work.
Nice. Now, one of the big things you kind of touched on is that you were looking at a lot of the collegiate stuff as well, right? This is not just a Challengers League team. You guys are also planning to play in CLOL and everything that goes along with that. And I think the two interesting things here are, one, you are in St. Louis, where St. Louis University also happens to be. They're basically another team in the league. What's the rivalry like there, and where are you guys expecting Maryville to do in this year's CLOL competition?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as a collegiate organization, actually, it's weird because we're actually looking towards CLOL, and NACL is a way for us to improve at that, right? You speak on SLU. I mean, I love those guys, especially Winnie. Winnie's my boy. Actually, we go way back. So I think we all have a great relationship with the SLU players. We like to trash talk each other, obviously, but they're just 10 minutes down the road from us, you know. So whenever they see each other, I know Jerry and Aaron, they fall sometimes. They hit the court, so you know we have a good relationship with them, but we're definitely looking to play versus SLU, maybe when the roster's at full strength. I don't think Quacker has been the strongest performer for them compared to Surdy. So I think that'll be a very interesting matchup. We're actually in the same region as well. So North playoffs, we'll get a shot. It's not even an actual elimination match for the championship, right? We'll get to play versus them. So I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, it's we have to keep our focus definitely on the Collegiate Cup because we have that high aspirations. Winthrop's playing in the qualifiers, right? And they're kind of struggling. So like if we're playing as the top dog, then we have to keep our expectations high, but also realize that the championship is months away, right? So we're still building towards that.
Yeah, I got one last question personally. It's Mirage. So, is there any trash talk going on during that game? Because we kept hearing the text sound come up every now and then.
No. There was no real trash talk. I actually have good relationships with everyone in Mirage, especially Prismal. I mean, he's my boy. We go way back, right? So I really love that guy. But Alarum was making jokes about the fact that we had 4 fleet footwork runes. And so, but Psycho didn't have it. So he was talking about like Psycho feet and like stuff like that. Just like, I don't know, just making it light for the game, just making jokes like that. But I don't think, there's no trash talk. I don't think there's any bad blood between us and Mirage. I think, yeah, they're pretty chill guys. They're easy to get along with, I think. Almost all their players very, very chill guys. I hope they figure out whatever is going on in that team because it's not working with them. So no bad blood there, but figure it out, guys. All right, we need to focus up, right?
All right, to wrap this up, do you have any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to everyone at Maryville. Literally everybody who's a player here, whether it's, Kachu or Iconic or Odd Orange, they're here every day. They help us out. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to our sponsors, First Form. They're a St. Louis company. They make energy drinks for gamers. Gamers, if you need some electrolytes in your energy drink, shout out to First Form. Shout out to all the fans who have supported me. No, there's a lot of haters. There's also a lot of support. So shout out to those, and shout out to you guys casting the games. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, just lots of love going around. Yeah.
Shout out to you for the good play, Niles. Congratulations on the win, 2-0 sweep, and still first place. It's got to feel good, man. We'll catch you another time. Good luck on the rest of the season.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Josh. Very, very informative that was. I always like talking to some of the Maryville members because we get this inner workings of how Collegiate works. And oftentimes the infrastructure they build is so much better than some of the Tier 3 or even some of the Tier 2 teams we have.
They're also very well-spoken, like, in general. Yeah. I don't think there's anybody that we've really had a conversation with from Maryville that doesn't seem to have at least some kind of media training, right? It really helps out their public image quite a bit. But as we take a look and start to wrap up the day, let's take a look at those standings coming across. Now, we do not actually have a differentiator between a couple of these teams, but it is worth noting that both FlyQuest Challengers and Maryville University are now tied in both series score and in game score. And so I don't know exactly if there's a tiebreaker between them, but the real showdown between these top 2 teams will be happening in Week 6. Everybody should be excited about that one. But we are starting to see some clear delineation. We have a top 2 and then the rest.
And still some late strides to be made. I mean, tomorrow we got 2 more matches going on. Fear can make an effort to try and climb back up the ladder. Mirage is going to be doing double duty against AoE. So, some angles to try and get yourselves out of that bottom of the barrel. As for the top bunch, keep doing what you're doing. Same thing with Supernova. They're another team who have been standing out quite a bit and showing up when they need to. Personally, my favorite match is not going to be the Week 6 one. It's going to be the Week 8 one of FlyQuest versus Supernova. I'll be waiting for that one. But that's going to do it for the broadcast. A pretty good time. Any closing statements, Josh?
No, I mean, thank you again for tuning into the Challengers League. Remember, every sub that you guys put in is directly supporting the players and everybody that's trying to make their way towards going pro, and it has been a great time. I am so excited to see more of all of these teams coming up tomorrow and for the rest of the week. Remember, a very important thing, we will also be playing when the LCS is not. So starting in weeks 5 and 6, for us starting next weekend, we will still have games going throughout the regular day, or starting relatively early in the day, so we will continue to have North American League of Legends action going even when the LCS takes a break.
Be sure to stick around because we'll be rating Dokla. If you want to see some high-quality top gameplay coming out from Big Dokes, We will be following that up. But for the broadcast desk, my name has been Eric Desrex Beltran. This is Joshua Joshi Howard. Of course, a shout out to everyone behind the scenes, both players, staff, coaches, who make this all possible. We want to wish you one more time a happy Lunar New Year. We'll see you next time, same place, same time tomorrow for more NACL.